the start of last fiscal year, we had 6 full-time communication employees, and by mid-year, due to restructuring, we were down to 3. So 3 full-time communication members that are in charge of internal communications and external communications. However, with the staff reduction and typical budget cuts that tend to happen, we were tasked with delivering just as much, if not more, quality content. So one thing we really had to do was take a look at how we work. How are we going to continue to communicate in a way that is informative, quality driven, and fun for employees to engage with and consume. We really focused on being resourceful over resources. We had to figure out where could we save money and get scrappy. Now, when I say scrappy, quality is still absolutely key. Just because you're scrappy and you don't spend as much on development of content or vendor selection does not mean that the value or the quality of the work has to go down. We repurpose as much as possible. I think within all of our organizations, there's so much content that has been created over the years, whether it's written, video, any type of content, infographics. How can we repurpose those? We went back into our arsenal and saw, okay, we've talked about this a while ago. How can we re-edit this film or this B-roll footage to talk about XYZ story? And then, we called on our third-party support in new ways. We work with a communications agency that we keep on retainer. And instead of maybe focusing so much on media pitches and some of the efforts that maybe we weren't seeing the ROI on as much as we had in the past, we refocus those efforts on content creation. How can you help us with thought leadership and getting our name out there in new and innovative ways that aren't just an interview with a media agency or an article being published? We really streamline our channels, and one of those was Lumen5, working with video. Lumen5 had been on in our toolbox for a while, but we had to look at how could we use it even more so in some of the efforts and the initiatives that we were trying to execute. So if you go to the next slide, I want to show you a real world example of what this looked like. So every quarter within our organization, we hold an America's Town Hall. In the past, we had worked with a third-party vendor who really helped us in every step of the way. We sat with them for ideation. They did all of the production work, the graphics, the video, the script writing. They provided the streaming platform for us. And dependent on which quarter it was and the scope of work, that could range anywhere from $20,000 to $120,000. So roughly, give or take, we were spending about $200,000 a year, $200,000 a year on quarterly regional town halls. Following the budget cuts and our restructuring, we thought, how can we deliver just as good of an event, a video production, without spending all of this money? So we looked internally. Within our organization, we're very fortunate that we have access to a creative services team who can help us by putting together graphics. Granted, we are not their primary customer within the organization, but through relationship building over the years, they've been more than willing to help us with the needs for these type of events once a quarter. The ideation and script writing, we took in-house on our own. For the production side, we made the decision to invest in quality video equipment. So we have a sales enablement team internally who does training videos for all of our products and for plumbers. And so we worked with their leaders and asked if we could utilize their services, 2 days a month to help produce this town hall. Because we're all in the same boat, they were more than willing to support us in this. And we're fortunate that their lead videographer used to be a news producer. So he informed us of all of the production equipment that we would need: camera, lights, switchboards, microphones, all of the materials. We decided to place the order. And we have since done all of our events in-house. We have a global streaming platform that we use as well. And then for video production, because we are a remote organization, we use Lumen5 a lot. We ask our leaders from across the country to pre-record their segments if they're not able to attend in person. We edit through Lumen5, and we have a really great, streamlined, professional-looking piece that we can use during this. So all in all, we went from $200,000 a year to a $20,000 initial investment. And beyond the $20,000, I don't think we've spent more than a few $100s, if that, a quarter. So immense cost savings by doing this. And it's really broken down silos within the organization that used to exist. I think, now working with the sales enablement team and the creative services team, that collaboration has allowed us to work together on other projects that maybe we wouldn't have thought of before.